welcome back to my channel. We're back for another top 10. I want to start off by saying I'm recording using my phone because the glitch that I was doing to screen record now isn't working, so I have to record using my phone for the time being until I can move, which, little update, I should be soon applying to an apartment. I thought I was going to last night, but then the apartment I was going to apply to disappeared. So my dad is currently trying to find another one for me and my boyfriend, and yeah, I'm not doing good mentally right now, but I do just want to read these and get them over with. So recording using my phone, so I apologize for the shitty quality for right now, and yeah, let's just get right into it. 10 times Pokemon was almost a horror series. Although the Pokemon series is generally aimed at a younger audience, it's important to remember that many people who watch and play either the anime or RPG series respectfully have been following the series are much older than the target demographic. With this in mind, it appears that those behind the anime aren't afraid to delve into more adult situations from time to time. Season 1 of the anime was famously much different from anything that came after it, as the writers weren't afraid to put Ash, Brock, and Misty in situations that very few children's cartoons would dare try and make. It makes it stand out as a result. Season 1 wasn't the only period where things were darker, however, as many episodes taking place later would also border on the horror genre. Number 10. Episode 1, where Ash and Pikachu were almost killed by Spearow. Even though Ash and Pikachu made it out alive, it's easy to forget that in the very first episode, the pair was nearly killed by a flock of angry Spearow. With Pikachu already nearly pecked to death and Ash trying his best to outrun the thunderstorm, the climax shows Pikachu leap to his trainer's defense, getting struck by lightning in the process, before power leveling and defeating the entire flock single-handedly. Had Pikachu not been an electric type, this episode would have turned out very differently, and Ash may have actually lost his starter on day 1. Number 9. The SS Anne was lost at sea and sank to the bottom of the ocean. One of the longer story arcs in the original season involved the SS Anne being lost at sea while Ash, Brock, and Misty and Team Rocket were still on board. This would have been bad enough on its own, but then the ship sinks to the bottom of the ocean and the group barely made it out alive, with each group escaping using their respectively water-type Pokemon. Every once in a while, the group had escaped the wreckage. The problem didn't stop as James Magikarp evolved into a Gyarados and began to rampage alongside several other wild Gyarados, threatening to drown the group with Dragon Rage and sending them all to an island of giant Pokemon. Number 8. The time Ash died and haunted Brock and Misty. Following his humiliating defeat at the hands of Sabrina, Ash decides that he needs to add a Ghost-type Pokemon to his team, and heads back to Lavender Town's Pokemon Tower to find one. While exploring, a Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar all try to play with Ash and his companions, but in the process, both Ash and Pikachu are knocked out by a falling chandelier and proceeds to haunt their friends alongside the Ghost-type Pokemon. While they do eventually return to their bodies and befriend the Haunter, that will later be trained by Sabrina herself, it's easy to forget that the only reason Ash and Pikachu weren't dead for this episode is because of the plot convenience. Number 7. Sabrina's creepy Pokemon battles using Kadabra. Ash and Pikachu having an out-of-body experience may have been something of a light-hearted horror episode, but the episodes surrounding Sabrina and her powers were much darker. Aside from the turning Brock and Misty into dolls and triggering down the entire group to play with them inside a dollhouse, Sabrina's Kadabra employed some ruthless tactics while battling Pikachu in their first match, mercilessly, slamming him around the battlefield and forcing Ash to intervene to stop the match. Sabrina's Kadabra wasn't the only Pokemon to do this, as none of the gym leader's Pokemon would act similar in Kalos. Number 6. Corinna's Lucario going wild. Corinna and Lucario would eventually have a healthy enough relationship that they would be able to Mega Evolve without issue, but the first time they attempted the transformation, things went south very fast. Wanting to test Lucario's strength, Corinna and Ash battle, but Lucario quickly loses control and begins to beat Pikachu so badly he would have died if the fight continued. Even if Ash intervened, Lucario wasn't going to stop attacking, and was only stopped by the timely intervention of Corinna's grandfather. Number 5. Corinna's Lucario going wild again. Even after Corinna and Ash's first battle, Corinna's Lucario would keep losing control whenever it Mega Evolved, and of course, of several episodes. Luckily, the rest of Lucario's opponents were able to Mega Evolve and were able to keep its aggression in check, but it's hard to forget the bloodlust inside whenever it lost control in battle. Considering Mega Lucario wasn't the first Mega evolved Pokemon to go wild, with Sycamore's Garchomp going on a terrifying rampage through Lumio City in the first episode of the Kalos season. It's both impressive and scary to see an otherwise peaceful fighter nearly kill another trainer's Pokemon in battle. Number 4, The Ghost of Maiden's Peak. One of the many haunting episodes in the series, The Ghost of Maiden's Peak stands out as it's not just a ghost-type Pokemon that is responsible, but the actual ghost of a woman who died while waiting for her husband to return. This episode where Ghastly famously creates amalgamation Pokemon using a psychic's powers, as well as kidnapping James and Brock to act in as the maiden's stand-in husband. Number 3, the Savarizon Warden held Ash and his friends at gunpoint. This one of a handful of episodes that were dubbed for English audience, as the subject of the matter was too controversial at the time for kids to handle appropriately, and was definitely not going to pass a rating board. The episode in question, The Legend of Dratini, sees Ash and his companions explore the Safari Zone, where Ash catches his herd of Tauros that later appear without explanation for those who watched the English dub. The main aspect of this episode was so controversial, however, the gun-loving warden, Kaiser, who had no issue holding Ash, Brock, and Misty at gunpoint to get his point across repeatedly. Needless to say, this could have ended up very badly for the trio had Kaiser followed through with his threat. Number 2, Deoxys Battle in Generations. There are a few episodes of Generations that border on horror, such as Archie's apparent death at the hands of a rampaging primal Kyogre, but an episode that is easily more terrifying is the climactic battle between the player character, the Rayquaza, and the Deoxys hiding inside a meteor. Unlike other Pokemon battles, this one in particular looks like it would be more at home in Neon Genesis Evangelion, as Deoxys' body warps and distorts, not unlike the Angels do when battling EVAs, and act just as alien as its origins suggested that it should. And number 1, Chairman Rose ordering his Pokemon to crush Riolu. One of the most recent episodes, which also shows both Ash's Riolu and Go's Raboot to evolve in one of the most intense climaxes of the series, Ash battled Chairman Rose to prevent the darkest days from happening once again and keeping Eternatus from destroying the world. After falling the Copperajah and Frothorn, Riolu steps in to take the attack from both Pokemon, or Rose commands his Pokemon to crush it. Aside from the creepy look on Rose's face, this is one of the only times in the first season where a Pokemon has been threatened to be killed in battle. And had Riolu not taken up the opportunity to evolve at that moment, Ash may have lost a Pokemon for good. There has also just been so many other creepy ass episodes that I don't know, just border what the fuck were they thinking? But yeah, that is basically it for this one. Let me know down in the comments if you have another episode where it kind of borders a horror series, or which one if you have any opinions on these ones, and I hope you all enjoyed. If you're new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and hit the bell to notify me videos just every Wednesday. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.